Good Gravy is a Vekoma family boomerang coaster that opened in 2024 at Holiday World in Santa Claus, Indiana. Located in the Thanksgiving section, this ride is also the newest in the park and a much-needed family addition. It took up the plot of land that used to have the massive water ride Pilgrim's Plunge before it was closed after only 4 years of operation and sat dormant for about a decade after that. This ride uses the same station building as the former attraction, but with a ton of added theming in the queue line. It's made to look like Grandma's house all ready for a Thanksgiving dinner, with entire rooms all themed up with a pretty retro 70s aesthetic. There's also a video in the queue line from Grandpa telling you how important it is that you get the gravy back for dinner. This gravy is apparently world-renowned, evident from the fact that there are trophies all over the house for cooking competitions that Grandma won, as well as the recipe for the gravy itself. Well, most of it anyway. The actual station itself is the garage of the house, with a ton of license plates from all over the country hanging on the opposite side of the track. The trains themselves look like giant gravy boats as you try and get Grandma's signature gravy back for Thanksgiving. They just have your standard lap bars, and you are ready to dispatch after the station lowers the platform around the train. The stats are pretty standard for a Vekoma family boomerang, with a height of 77 feet, speed of 37 miles per hour, and a track length of only 722 feet, but you do take that both forwards and backwards. Now that we got the stats out of the way, let's see how it rides. The ride begins with a backwards lift hill through the station before releasing you back down the lift hill forwards. You turn to the right through a giant soup can that actually lights up red at night before turning to the left over a little airtime hill that's pretty tame. You turn right and left once more before going up the ride spike that actually does give some solid airtime towards the front of the train. You then fall back down and go through the entire layout backwards, passing by a giant milk bottle, a giant whisk, a giant rolling pin, and other giant kitchen utensils before you finally break in the station where you began your journey. Overall, this was a desperately needed addition for Holiday World, but still a very good fit as well. They didn't really have any family coasters before this one, which always seemed really odd to me considering this is such a popular park for families in particular. They still could use another family coaster, to be honest, to close the gap between this and Raven even more, because that is still a pretty intense ride for the average person. They did a great job theming up this attraction, both in the queue line, with all of the house decor, and during the ride with all the giant kitchen utensils. It's also a glass smooth ride, something that can definitely not be said about their wooden coasters, which is a nice change of pace. This ride wouldn't really be one I'd be dying to ride multiple times during a visit here, not only because it's not super thrilling, but also due to the nature of the ride, it can only have one train, which could produce a decent line. Honestly, it didn't have much of a line when I rode it in the morning, but I'd imagine it gets to be pretty long later in the day, especially when the park is more packed. Holiday World could really use another high-capacity family launch coaster, maybe like Fire Chaser Express or even Hagrid's Universal, to really fully round out their coaster lineup, but it's definitely going in the right direction. Good Gravy is still definitely worth a ride every time you go to the park, and one pretty much anyone in the family can enjoy. Be sure to subscribe for more content and be able to look out for more coaster reviews and other theme park videos in the near future.